I was listening to a talk by Tony Robbins this morning, and it was about focus. And these talks are really good because they're motivational, and Tony delivers the message very clearly and powerfully. He's a great speaker, obviously. He's a master at psychology and NLP. He knows how to deliver the message, and he knows what he's talking about because he's done a lot of research. But if I had to sum up this talk, he mentioned three main questions to ask oneself that can affect the quality of one's life in the present. And although this is a different approach to what we normally do with my work in mindfulness coaching and emotional integration and emotional management, it pretty much leads to the same place. So his first question was, what are we focusing on? What am I focusing on right now? And it's a good question to ask because it breaks the habitual pattern of automatic focus, and our brains are hardwired to focus on threats rather than opportunities and future threats rather than the present. It's just how we work evolutionarily, how we developed as a survival mechanism. So he asks the first question, what are we focusing on? And he mentions that focus equals feeling, which is true. We focus on a threat, we feel uncomfortable. It brings up emotional signatures. And unless we know how to integrate those and manage those, they're going to continue to make us feel uncomfortable every time we hit that situation that arises. The next one he asks is, what does this mean? So we assign meaning to what we focus on. Some people, the classic example of the optimist that sees the glass half full and the pessimist that sees the glass half empty, and they're both exactly the same glass halfway filled with water. So what does this mean? What does it mean for me? We do assign meaning to things. A Course in Miracles, the first 10 lessons are all about disarming that meaning that I've assigned to everything and recognizing that my thoughts and what I see in the room or on the street is actually meaningless, but I've assigned meaning to it and given it all the meaning that it has for me. So what does this mean for me is an important question, and we can know the answer to this question by looking at our feeling response and feeling into the body's sensation. The mind will tell us one thing, but the body will tell us the truth. So what does this mean for me, whether it has a positive or negative connotation or it's bringing up emotional triggers? We'll know. It's in the body already. And the third question that Tony asks is, what am I going to do? So this is an action-inspired question in that we recognize what we're focusing on, we look at the meaning we've given it, we can see the response, and we take action in taking our focus off that thing that's triggering us and putting it either somewhere positive, like looking at what we have instead of what we don't have, feeling appreciation, or if something is arising that's upsetting us and making us uncomfortable that needs to be integrated, we put our focus on that, on those feelings that are arising in the body, our emotional response and trigger, and we be with that and allow that to be here, and we feel it fully so that it can integrate. So in the presence process, Michael mentions that earlier on in week 2, we recognize our reflections and projections and we dismiss the messenger. We don't get hooked into the messenger and the story behind the messenger and what's going on and whatever labels and concepts the mental body has placed on the story. We dismiss the messenger. Thank you very much. given me the message. We look at the message, I've received it, it's in my body now, it's coming up, I'm feeling uncomfortable because of this messenger event, and I'm going to stay with that uncomfortable emotional signature. And just be with that. So that's 5 minutes of insight that was delivered through a few teachings through Tony Robbins, video about focus, 3 questions on focusing, and the presence process, how that ties in. And I've mentioned a few other parallel teachings, such as A Course in Miracles. So I hope that's a helpful little bit of information and insight today, and I wish you a great day.